Okay, let's go Kenny, Nate, and Jenna.
Kenny Bruce, SceneDaily.com. Jeff, haven't been in the chase as often as you have. Do you do anything different in those last 10 races? Does Steve do anything different as far as preparation? I mean, or is it just in reality just 10 more races after the first 26?
Well, I mean, I think it's all the preparation going into the chase. You know, we've been thinking for the last couple of weeks, looking at our points position of trying to plan out which cars we're going to take to certain tracks, where we're going to test. You know, things that we've learned throughout the season that we think, you know, because you got to understand you're testing all the time, every weekend, just about, and there becomes a point where okay, you're done testing. Now you've got to go put your best stuff out there for the chase, and you know, you just kind of hope that it pays off. And that's you know, I think that's where we're at is we know this race really doesn't mean a whole lot towards the chase other than the bonus points. So you know, we're kind of going out there a little bit more aggressively with the setup and going with something that maybe we haven't done in the past, and just because we know that we haven't been good enough to win, you know, here in the past, and really coming out of here with a 5th or 8th place finish really isn't doing us a whole lot for the championship. So we're thinking championship right now, but it's thinking championship as far as, you know, and kind of back to David's point, it's not so much as a driver doing something aggressive on the track. It's really in the preparation of what you're doing that might be a little bit more outside your comfort zone right now, to try to go get those bonus points.
Okay, let's go Nate, Jenna, Joe.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Jeff, you said that Harvick has solidified himself as the favorite after the Michigan win. But before the season, could you have imagined saying that about a Childress team in August, and not just given the struggles that RCR had last year, but also given that, you know, it's been a while for Harvick. That was his first win on an unrestricted superspeedway in 7 years. I mean, just the growth of both the team and driver there.
Yeah, no, they've made some big gains. You know, it looks like they made a lot in the horsepower. You know, under the hood, their engines are really, really strong right now. I think that's also contributing to Ganassi's strength as well as you know, that engine package. I think that you never know what's going to happen over the off season. You know, what happens when you get kicked enough times, you know, it forces you to go work really, really hard. And when it's an organization like Childress, you know, you expect for them to rebound, especially the driver lineup that they have, to eventually, you know, but you don't know when. But yeah, I guess it's a little bit of a surprise, you know, but that they've been as strong as they've been this year. You know, the real true test will be in those final 10 races.
Okay, we're trying to stay within time, but we'll get it to as many as we can. Let's go Jenna, Joe, Angelique.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Jeff, attendance obviously is down everywhere, but in the spring here, they ended their long-time sellout streak here. As someone who raced here through expansion and when this was the toughest ticket in NASCAR, now the night race is probably not going to be a sellout tomorrow night either. Are you surprised that Bristol maybe isn't immune to what other tracks have suffered through?
I mean, I don't think anybody's immune. You know, it's just like, you know, a top team is not immune to sponsorship negotiations and you know, support. No different than a racetrack is not immune to the economy and whatever decision making is going on out there among fans of what races they choose to go to and what obstacles lie in their way to get to those tracks. You know, I still think people everywhere I go love Bristol, you know, love Talladega, and, you know, love NASCAR. But I think that you know, when tough times are there, they have to make tough decisions. You know, so I continue to look at the fact that we're still putting, you know, 100,000 plus people in the grandstands as a really good thing. And with the growth of our sport, you know, and you're putting that many people into the stands, it has to have a peak eventually, you know. And I think we always said, you know, where is that peak? And don't think that we ever thought that it would happen. Maybe when it did and where it did, and you can't ever predict the economy and the things that happen. But I do think that that it's been good for the sport in some ways for us to get back to some processes to help us be stronger as a sport in general, and I think that that's going to make us that much better when the economy does rebound, to have a more solid foot to stand on and continue to make sure we're giving the fans what they deserve. A great show, and you give our sponsors what they deserve as well. They put a lot into it. So, I don't think that it's been an adjustment. It's been an adjustment for everybody, but we're still sitting here with a pretty solid sport that has a lot to be excited about, and I still look forward to the future of it.
All right, we got time for 2 quick ones, and if you need something, maybe you could walk out with Jeff and John. I'm sorry, but we've taken a bunch of questions. Joe and Angelique.
Jeff, Joe Manzer, NASCAR.com. Earlier, you to sum it up, I think you were saying that it's possible to win the chase, win the championship without winning a race.
Mathematically,
but
I know
but not likely. Would it mean any less to you to win it that way?
No, I'll be fine winning the championship without winning a single race. I'll take pride in it. Absolutely. I mean, you win it however you win it. The best team is going to win the championship, however that is. I've been part of the sport long enough to know that under the old point system, you couldn't have failures. But you could win a championship because of somebody else's failures. Engine failures or tire problems. And so do you want to win a championship that way? Not necessarily, but you'll take it. And do I want to win the championship without having to win? No, but I'll still take it and take it proudly.
Final question, Angelique.
Okay, I'll make it quick. Jeff, I don't know if you were aware that Ryan Newman and Joey Logano had a little issue after the race last week, and
I didn't know anything about that.
You didn't know that, and I'll refresh your memory. Logano said of Ryan after the race that he races everyone too hard. I'm not the only one who complains about that. Is that a fair assessment? And what can you translate what racing too hard means?
How did I get thrown into this? I haven't had any issues with Newman in a long time. Everybody races different. When I saw the stuff with Joey after the race, I was in the lounge changing after the race was over. And a lot of us when we first come into sport would go through this. And what Joey was saying, it's one of those things where you can think it and you can talk to your friends about it. You don't say that on camera. And the reason you don't say that on camera is because people don't get that. Fans don't get it, media don't get that. You can't say, he's racing me too hard. What? I thought you guys are out there supposed to race one another hard every single lap. But there's like code. It's like driver code. And what that is 5 laps into the race, it's not very smart, to go out there and chop a guy, run a guy up the racetrack, take a guy 3 wide, all these things. And so, everybody kind of lives and breathes by a different code. And, Ryan is a guy that he races hard all the time, every race, every lap. And that's just the way he goes about it, and that's why I've always said, you could take the paint and the numbers off the cars and you could pretty much tell who you're racing. And it's because of incidences like that. You just know that, there's some guys that are really, really tough to pass, and you're going to have to give some guys a lot more room, and there's other guys that you know that they're going to give you plenty of room. That's just the way you go about it. But it's not about racing too hard. It's just about how you're racing one another.
Jeff, thanks so much.
Thank you.
You worked overtime for us today. We appreciate it.